Hola amigas y amigos, hello friends. Soy Olga Beltrán de España. I'm Olga Beltrán from Spain. ¿Cómo estáis? How are you? In today's lesson, we are going to study a lot of vocabulary about foods, drinks, and meals. How we say meals in Spanish, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You'll also learn indefinite articles. As far you have learned singular indefinite articles, but today you'll see the rest of this kind of articles in plural. It's very easy and short, don't worry. And then we'll practice together the vocabulary you have learned with the articles. But first, before starting with the vocabulary, we are going to learn something because these words, the words of this vocabulary, are full of C's, letter C and Z in front of vowels. So I'm going to teach you how to pronounce this in Spanish, in Spain and in Latin America. Okay? This is very important because all words in Spanish are full of this kind of syllables. Let's see. The pronunciation of the letter C first. The C in front of vowel. There are two kinds of pronunciation. When the letter C is in front of A, O, U, la A, la O, la U. Do you remember the vowels, the Spanish vowels pronunciation? In front of A, O, U, it always sounds like a K. Examples: C-A, casa, the famous word that we always use as an example because it's very useful. C-O, coche, car in Spain. C-U-Q, cuando, how many, or not how many, how much, okay? So, ca, co, cu. And the other pronunciation of the letter C is in front of E and in front of I. Okay, first let's see in Spain, where I am. In front of E and in front of C in Spain we say ce, like a little bit when you say in English thank you. It's very similar, thank you. For example, in the word cena, that means dinner. La cena, it's feminine. La cena, dinner. And the other case is with an I. And the sound is the same, but changing the E by an I. Fi, as when you say think in English. So, for example, when you say gracias, fi, gracias. In Latin America, there's a difference. When there are the letters E and I after the C, they don't say fe, fi. They pronounce like an S, a strong S, se, si, something like that. It's not my accent, I'm imitating, but it's like that, more or less. Also in southern Spain. In southern Spain, in some places, not in all, but it's very common. Southern Spain and Latin America. Also in Canary Islands, a group of islands that is in Africa but belongs to Spanish state. Las Islas Canarias. They also pronounce like in Latin America and like in many parts of southern Spain. And they pronounce instead ce, fi, se, si, okay? And they say la cena, gracias, for example. And that's all. So, summary. In front of A or U sounds like a K. Ca, co, cu, casa, coche, cuánto. In front of E and I, fe, fi in Spain, and se, si in Latin America and many places of southern Spain and Canary Islands, also in Spain. Now let's go with the pronunciation of the letter Z. It's very similar to this case. Well, it's the same, but for all vowels. First, let's start something. How to say in Spanish? Pronunciation. Pronunciation is a feminine word. All words in Spanish ending in ion, like this, the word is pronunciación. It's not very easy because there are too many C's. Pronunciación, okay? Feminine. I was saying that in Spanish there are many words ending in ion. So all words, all Spanish words ending in ion are feminine. So it's easier to remember. So la pronunciación is the pronunciation. Now let's see. Pronunciación de la letra Z. Pronunciación de. De, do you remember what is de? De is of or from. So pronunciation of the letter. Sorry, I haven't said that letra is letter, okay? And it's also feminine. As many words ending in A is feminine, okay? So, and this letter, the letter C in Spanish is C. The name of the letter is this one, C. And this Z is zeta. So we have pronunciación de la letra zeta, the Z. The pronunciation is very easy because in all cases, with all vowels, is the same. In Spain, za, ce, ci, zo, zu. The same sound as with ce, ci, with the C. Notice that CA and CE, and ZE are the same, have the same pronunciation, ce. The C and the I and the Z and the I, the same pronunciation, ci. And the rest, za, zo, zu, okay? Za, ce, ci, zo, zu. In Latin America, the same as in this case. Instead of ce, zeta, they pronounce like an S, a strong S, also in southern Spain and in Canary Islands. Za, ce, ci, zo, zu. Okay? And that's all. So now let's go with the vocabulary. Here we have the vocabulary. First, let's see the word. In Spanish, the word vocabulario. It's vocabulary. It's very similar. El vocabulario. It ends in O, so it's masculine. I always say most words ending in O are masculine, but there are exceptions, and most words ending in A are feminine, but there are also exceptions, but this is the most common thing. So, el alimento or la comida is food, foods, okay? In plural, los alimentos, las comidas. Okay, but normally when we talk about food in general, we say this word comida only in singular. When we say comidas, we are meaning meals, okay? But when we talk about foods, it's la comida, singular. But alimento, yes, it has a plural, los alimentos. Now, drink or drinks, la bebida. Bebida, in plural, las bebidas. This is, we'll study in a future lesson, the verb beber. Beber is to drink, okay? So this word comes from the verb beber, la bebida. El desayuno is breakfast. El desayuno, okay? And now again, la comida or el almuerzo is lunch. You can say la comida, at least here in Spain. In Latin America, I suppose that it's the same, but maybe it can change in some country. La comida or el almuerzo. Notice that comida can be lunch and can be food, both things. And if you say comida in plural, las comidas, it means meals, all meals, okay, in general. Now, la cena, we have seen this word before, dinner. Pay attention. C-A, C-O, co, C-I-C, or cena in Latin America. Another one, la sal, salt. El azúcar, sugar. Z, U, Z, U, la letra Z, I, and la letra U, Zu, el azúcar, sugar. Bread is el pan, el pan. Try not to pronounce the letter P, very explosive. Pan, pan, not pan, okay? Now, salad. La ensalada, ensalada. It's not very difficult to remember because it has the word salad in the middle. Now, la carne, meat, la carne, carne. You have to vibrate a little bit your tongue to pronounce this R, carne. C-A-K, remember, K, co, Q, and C, ci. El pescado, again, C-N-A-K. El pescado is fish. And now you are going to learn something very peculiar in Spanish. El agua is water. This article, el, is the masculine definite article, but the word agua, agua, is feminine. Why do we use the masculine article with a feminine noun? Because nouns ending in A, although they are feminine, when they use a definite article, this article is masculine, because if we say la agua, it's a little hard to say la agua, and we say el agua, but agua is feminine. That means that if you use an adjective to describe water, you have to use the feminine adjective, although the article is masculine. For example, el agua está fría. The water is cold. Fría is cold, but in feminine. Let's continue. Coffee. El café. It's easy, this one. When you see a written accent, remember that you always have to stress the syllable when you see this written accent. In the rest of cases, remember the rules I taught you in a previous lesson, that when a word ends in vowel N or S, you always have to stress the penultimate syllable. And when a word ends in any other letter, you have to stress the last syllable. But if there is a written accent, you have to stress the syllable with the written accent. So, alimento, why do we stress the penultimate syllable? Because it ends in vowel. Bebida, the same. Desayuno, the same. Azúcar, we stress this syllable because it has a written accent. Ensalada, it ends in vowel, so we stress the penultimate syllable. Let's continue. Milk, la leche. It's easy, leche. In Spanish, a leche is also to beat someone, okay? And el zumo, juice, juice. Zumo, Z, U, la Z y la I. Oh, there's a fly here. El zumo. juice. Now, wine. We saw this word in another lesson. It's masculine, it ends in O. El vino. Another one, this word is good to practice what we have learned about pronunciation of C and Z in front of vowel. La cerveza, it's beer. Cerveza. C and E, C. Z and A, za. Or in Latin America or southern Spain, cerveza. The following one, it's very similar, this word to this one, although the meaning is very different. La cereza, it's the same word, but we only remove the V and we have cereza, la cereza. Strawberry, la fresa, fresa. And this one, la naranja, the orange. There are some countries in Latin America that use another word. I think, for example, in Cuba, they say another word, but the most common word is this one, naranja, everywhere. The J, the letter J, and the A, ja. Do you remember, for example, mujer? It was a J and an E. It's G. The sound of J in front of vowel is always the same. With an A, ja. With an E, G. With an I, he. With an O, ho. With a U, hu. Ja, he, he, ho, hu. All the same. Always the same. Now, el limón, lemon. Here we have a written accent. Now let's form the plural of this word. We have studied this, I think that in the last lesson, how to form plural of words ending in consonant and with a written accent on the vowel of the last syllable. It's a word ending in N, so to form the plural we have to add an E and an S at the end. But we also have to remove the accent, so it's los limones without the accent, only to form the plural. Los limones, this is the plural of limón. Now, fruit, la fruta, another word ending in A that is feminine. Chocolate, el chocolate. I haven't read the meaning in English, but because it's the same. El chocolate. Rice is el arroz. The Z at the end of word, as in the word happy, feliz. It sounds like a TH in the word thank you, for example, but without the vowel before it. El arroz. Double R, roz. This one, el huevo, egg. When we pronounce this word, the H is never pronounced in Spanish, but when we say huevo, or in some words, specific words, sometimes we pronounce a very, very, very soft G in front of the U. Huevo, it's very soft. You can't almost, you hardly notice that. El huevo. As when you say in English, for example, this particle. Oh, sorry. Wood. It's very similar. Huevo. Okay? Now, el huevo frito, fried egg. El huevo frito. Frito is fried in masculine singular. La patata, potato. La patata is in Spain, but in Latin America and in southern Spain, they say la papa, without an accent here, because if you put an accent here, it's papa. Papa is daddy, okay? So, papa, Latin America, southern Spain. Rest of Spain, patata. Las patatas fritas or las papas fritas, fried potatoes, chips or crisps, everything. Las patatas fritas, las papas fritas. And here we have 3 words that are the same in Spanish and in English. La pasta, la pizza, because it's Italian and we say the same word, and el ketchup. Ketchup in Spanish is also salsa de tomate. Salsa means sauce. De of tomate, tomato. We saw the word tomate in a previous lesson. La salsa de tomate. Salsa is the same word for the music, the famous Latin music. El ketchup or la salsa de tomate, okay? It's not very difficult, but there are many words. If you want to write down all this and practice, you'll remember everything. Now, let's see the indefinite articles, una, unos, unas, and we'll do an exercise with all this vocabulary and with these articles. Let's go. Here we have the indefinite articles. Let's start. First, in Spanish, article is artículo. Artículo, it's masculine. So in plural, it's el artículo, but in plural is los artículos. Okay? Indefinite is indefinidos, masculine and plural, because this adjective is describing a noun that is masculine and plural. So, los artículos indefinidos, indefinite articles. Now we have the word masculino is masculine, masculino, and femenino, feminine. Singular and plural should be written as in English, but the pronunciation is a little bit different. Singular is singular, singular, and plural is plural, plural, okay? Don't pronounce explosive P, plural. Okay, so now the definite article, masculine and singular, we have already studied this one and this one. It's the equivalent to a in English, but in Spanish is in masculine and singular, Una in English is also a, or an if the following word ends in vowel. Okay, so the masculine singular is and the feminine singular is una. That's what you learned in previous lessons. But now we have the plural articles, masculine and plural, unos. We add, it's a very irregular, this plural, because in Spanish always we add an I and an S to form the plural of a word ending in N, but in consonant, but in this case we add an O and an S. The plural is unos, and the plural of the feminine one is a very regular plural. We only add an S, unas, it's easy. The translation into English, this could be some, and this one too, some. Or a few. For example, let's see a word that we have already seen, the word niño. Niño is male child. El niño, okay? It's masculine and singular. If we want to use the indefinite article instead of the definite article, we say un niño. Now, this word in feminine and singular is niña. La niña, the female child. So, if we use the indefinite article as it is feminine and singular, we use this one, una. So we say una niña. Now, los niños, masculine and plural. The male children. Masculine and plural, this one, unos. Some children, unos niños. And las niñas is female children. With the indefinite article, we should say, because it's feminine and plural, femenino plural, unas niñas. Es femenino plural. Do you remember all I taught you about ser and estar? So it's es. Es femenino plural, es masculino singular, or anything. Now let's see the examples. Let's see some examples with the words of the vocabulary we have just studied and with these articles, okay? So, do you remember how salad is in Spanish? How do you say that? It's a word containing the word salad in the middle. So it's ensalada. Feminine, it ends in a, feminine. La, with the definite article, it's la ensalada. So, if we want to use the indefinite article, it's singular. So we say una ensalada. Una ensalada. Or if we are using the plural, las ensaladas, we say unas ensaladas, okay? Una, unas, in plural. The following one, coffee. How do we say in Spanish coffee? Café. El café. It's masculine. So, if you want to use the indefinite article, talking about cup of coffee, a cup of coffee, not coffee as a drink. It's coffee as a drink is uncountable, so we don't use un café. But when we are talking about a cup of coffee, we say un café. So we say un café or unos cafés with the S in plural. Beer. Do you remember the word beer? La cerveza. La cerveza. So it's feminine singular, femenino singular, una cerveza. And if it's plural, unas cervezas. The following one, juice. Do you remember the word juice? Zumo, or in Latin America or southern Spain, zumo, or you can also say jugo, but I haven't explained this word. It's a little bit to pronounce, so I prefer to say zumo, and that's all, by the moment. So, el zumo, and if we use the indefinite article as it's a masculine word, we say un zumo, and in plural, unos zumos. Cherry, do you remember the word? It's very similar to cerveza, but without the V. So it's la cereza. So when we use the indefinite article, as it is feminine and singular, in this case, una cereza. If we want to say cerezas in plural, we say unas cerezas because it's feminine. The following one, strawberry. Do you remember? La fresa, la fresa. La fresa. So, which is the indefinite article for this word? In singular, una fresa. In plural, unas fresas. The following one, orange. Do you remember the word? Naranja. La naranja, feminine. So, it's una naranja, or in plural, unas naranjas. Lemon. El limón, with a written accent in singular, on the O. So, with the indefinite article, we have un limón. In plural, do you remember how to write the plural of limón? Limones. Limones without the written accent. Remember that when we form the plural of a word ending in consonant with an accent on the last vowel, we remove the accent to form the plural. So, limones, if we want to use the indefinite article for the word limones, which one do you choose? Unos, because it's masculine, plural. Masculino, plural. Unos limones. Los limones, unos limones. A lemon, some lemons, or a few lemons. Egg. Do you remember the word? It's masculine and it's el huevo. El huevo. So, the indefinite article is un huevo. Masculine, singular. Masculino, singular. Now, potato is la patata or la papa. So, the article, indefinite article, should be una patata in singular or unas with s, unas patatas in plural. Las patatas fritas, the fried potatoes, the crisps, the chips. Las patatas fritas, notice that I write it here. Las patatas fritas. Patatas is plural and feminine, so fritas is also plural and feminine because in masculine and singular is frito. Frito, masculine singular. Fritos with an S at the end, masculine plural. frita, feminine singular, fritas, feminine plural, okay? Well, this is all with this theme. And now I would like to tell you something in the last part of this video. If you like my lessons but would like to go faster with personalized attention, with lessons oriented to your needs, with a lot of material, files that I would give you, for example, summaries of every lesson, cards with vocabulary, exercises to do during the lessons with me, or even if you like between lessons during the week, so that you can practice what you have learned. Now you can book private lessons with me by clicking on the link that I have written in the description of this video below, and also on the banner of this YouTube channel. You can take a free trial lesson of 20 minutes without any commitment. And then if you like, you can continue with me. But I will give a free lesson of 60 minutes, an hour, to the first 5 people who send me an email requesting it to the email address that I have written in the description of this video below. I'll answer you and we'll agree a day and a time for that free class. You can also have package classes with discounts. Take advantage now that you can choose many days and times, because later it will be more difficult. I'll be happy to meet students that are following my lessons on YouTube. I hope to see you soon in my private lessons and also on this YouTube channel that will continue, of course. Hasta pronto, amigos. Hasta la próxima lección. Adiós.